Hey guys, welcome back to Set of Sessions. Today we bring in Arabella. How you doing?
Hi, Danny. How are you?
Good, good. Do you want to give the audience a little bit of background on yourself?
Absolutely, yeah, sure. So I'm an Amazon seller myself. I also sell multi-channel, so I sell off Amazon, and I run a listing optimization service for Amazon sellers.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's start with overly long titles and the use of pipe.
Yeah, so typically back in the good old days, we used to have really long titles. Some people may remember sort of 250 sort of character length. But now over time, Amazon has shortened them down. Now, obviously, they have access to a wealth of data, so they're always optimizing themselves in the background. So the changes that they've made to shorten them obviously are based on their own optimization data that they have. So now we see lots of shorter titles. We also see Amazon brands have their own. They actually have very very short titles, typically around 80 characters. And I was showing you, Danny, before some listings for newer Amazon brand owned listings that are around
Yeah.
that 80 character mark.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the pipes were, I mean, I'm not really sure where it started, but I think with most things on Amazon, it's like a trend. So probably a bestseller started using it, and then everybody by default then copies that bestseller.
yeah,
And they are a sort of a separator. They're a way to sort of break up the listing, but like you say, they affect PPC. So trying to have as few special characters as possible.
yeah,
So if you want to index for your canonical URL, which is your organic URL, you ideally want to have your main keyword phrase at the beginning of the title
yeah,
and then the dash. So it's space dash space after that keyword phrase.
yeah.
That's going to help you to index that keyword phrase for your canonical URL. And then, if we all fall in line to that sort of 80 character limit, or sort of 70 to 80 character limits of category dependent, some categories actually have shorter titles, but if we sort of all start to stick to that 70 to 80 rule, what it does is it forces you to really think about what keywords you're using. Because before, when we had that 200 character, we would just stuff it with, top rated, best, flash sale, all the things that we used to be able to get away with. But now I think Amazon's really sort of moving towards that sort of shorter titles that make you really think about the keywords that you use. So you need to be more strategic.
Exactly. And do you know another thing got to take into consideration? Where there's a lot of categories where Amazon are forcing your brand name at the very beginning. It's going to be very important now that to not, when you think about a brand name, when you think about trademarking a brand name and getting brand registry, is to try and come up with shorter brand names effectively. Because if you're something like, I don't know, the Parkside Company, for instance, you're going to eat up a massive chunk of your characters at the very beginning. And don't forget, if you're on different devices, you're probably going to be allowing for about 62 to 70 characters roughly across all different platforms
Mm.
before it starts to get the dot, dot, dot and it truncates down. So I think that's going to be important going forward, which I think goes back to this whole relevance thing. With the titles, you're literally pretty much going to get away with one or if not two main keywords or phrases in your title. So
Mm.
that's that's Amazon forcing you to be even more relevant with the customer.
Yeah, because unfortunately, people keyword stuff to the titles, and it's not a good customer experience. I mean, if you search for a term on Amazon and you have a look at those really long titles, it's not actually a nice reading experience, because really the customer only cares about two things. What is it? How can this product help me, and what does it do? Shorter titles work better for the social media shares.
Yeah.
So that's the truncation that you mentioned, the dot, dot, dot that you see.
Yes.
So as well, also how are you appearing on Google search? So if you've got like this really long title,
Yeah, I
um,
think Google's to 70 characters as well, roughly, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to be mindful of how you're appearing in search.
Yeah. What about another thing is, we can go into copy forever. You got bullshit statements like overcooking what's your product does, which can lead to negative reviews and obviously creepy copy as well, where it's a little bit snake oily. So talk to me about managing the customer expectation through copy as well.
Yeah, so I think in our desire to be the best, we often overstate what the product can do,
Yeah,
and that's not, you're not managing the customer's expectations. So I often see, the best argan oil shampoo, and it's got one review, and you think, come on, how are you the best? Like, you've got one review.
yeah,
But also you're setting that expectation for the customer when you're making all these sort of outlandish claims. You better be able to back it up, because the customers bought the product, it's sort of bought into your spiel, but then they get it and they go, this is rubbish, this is not what I was sold.
yeah,
So then don't be surprised when they go onto your listing and then they try to, they write negative things.
yeah.
People can be quite cruel, because Amazon, not quite cruel, people can be quite honest when they feel that they've been missold.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Like, well, let's lead into that. Let's talk about subjective terms. You kind of touched on those.
Mm. Yeah, so things like top rated, best, flash sale, they're not TOS compliant terms.
Yeah,
You often see them in titles, which I advise against, and you see them littered throughout the actual listing. And it's not, again, you really shouldn't be using those terms because they're subjective
yeah,
sort of claims, but really just try to focus on being very feature benefit focused, which is, that's what it's called. It's called, the product features benefits.
There are some couple of examples that you sent me over as well. You we're looking at some. What is it? The diaper count bears. Is it? I'll leave the URLs in the show notes. But some interesting thing here is like with the title. So this has been optimized for the 80 characters. So this one is Amazon brand hyphen Mama Bear diapers size 1, 216 count bears print in brackets 4 packs of 54. So it's not really copywriting as we know it, is it? In terms of sexiness, there's absolutely zero in terms of appeal there, apart from it's just like reading the command line out of a manual for some sort of programming book.
Yeah, it's like Ron Seal. It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah,
It's very concise, short, sweet, to the point. But what's interesting here is that this is actually an Amazon-owned brand.
yeah,
So if you do a Google search on Amazon-owned brands, you'll actually find quite an extensive list.
yeah,
Amazon are not openly revealing this, to people, but I think it was L2 Inc. I think they were able to sort of find all of these Amazon-owned brands. What's really interesting is you can learn a lot from Amazon,
yeah,
because obviously this is their platform. So what you don't see Amazon doing typically with the newer listings. So this is an example of a newer listing. Oh, actually, no, this one is an older because it's got 1,000 reviews. But
yeah,
if you look at some of the other ones for the Mama Bear, you'll see that the newer listings they fall under that 80 character title limit.
yeah,
But also what you can see is great product images, really lovely. They've got a lot of images. They're very sort of very descriptive, so they really appeal to their customer avatar, which is obviously new mums.
yeah,
And it's pretty cool. They've even got the box, so they can see, how it fits, if it fits in a drawer. I just really like their images. They've got great EBC.
yeah. Now I was going to say the enhanced brand content looks pretty good. The way that they've laid their page out, I must admit that. Yeah. So when you're scrolling down the page, you can see, there's a title, there's a short description, and a big image. And instead of using everything as squares and blocks, it's the edgings of the images are all uneven, so it helps with casting your eye as you're going down the page. But if you look at the bullet points at the top, they would send a glass eye to sleep.
Yeah, they would. That's true.
About this product, 4 packs of 54 size 1 diapers for babies. It's like reading the yellow pages.
But do you know what though?
Go on.
It does what it says, because people, we all lead really busy lives. 73% of Amazon shoppers purchase on mobile.
Yeah.
People are, especially new moms, they haven't got time to, read the, all of this lengthy text. The customer only cares about the 2 things. Can it solve this problem that I've got? What does it do, and does it solve this problem?
Yeah.
How does it solve this problem, rather? So by these really short titles, I mean, it's not sexy, the product features, but it does what it says, and you're able to skim read very quickly and go boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's,
Yeah, and the thing is, what you've got to look at here is that who am I to question, right? This is Amazon. They're probably one of the biggest testers in the world, aren't they? And so they don't just do things by mistake necessarily. I'm sure that, well, you see how they destroy listings when they take over someone's listing when they go into the vendor programs.
Oh yeah, that's
you end up with, so it's hard to understand, it kind of gets me. You've got a company that measures all the time. Admittedly, they've done great images, and the enhanced brand content is done very well.
It's feature benefit focused, so you just got to bear that in mind when you craft the bullets. I mean, even if you use this as inspiration, as very basic inspiration, you can then build that out. So I don't know, you've probably seen this, Danny, where bullets have got part capitalization at the beginning, which is basically a summary, and then they build out the copy a little bit more. So it's like a feature, and then the lowercase is more or less the benefits.
Do you know what? This other one here, again, I'm going to put this in the show notes, right? Talk about double standards. Is it me, or is it you meant to be using the product image, okay, with a white background as your main image, right?
Yeah.
This one here, Amazon brand, Mama Bear diaper, Pal refills, 4 diapers, Genie Pals, 270 count by Mama Bear, is using a lifestyle image as the main image. So we better tell Jeff. Because it says not compatible with Munchkin brand Pals, and it's got the product, which is kind of on a white background. It's got what looks like to have towels in the background, and you can see that it's placed onto a white floor.
Yeah, it's interesting. They should really swap out that image number 2, which is just the
Well, yeah, image number 2 is actually the main image in theory, because that's what meets the TOS. So it's quite interesting, isn't it? They set the standards. But the EBC looks very good on this one. So again, I'll put these in the show notes so that everyone can see them.
There's one thing to point out with the EBC is if you're going to do a text image, which is where the images, the text is embedded within the image itself, just to bear in mind that you're not obviously going to rank for those keywords because it's just an image. They can't scan that image for text.
Yeah.
So here I would recommend that people use the traditional product description in the back end, the bit that the customer doesn't see, and actually write out their product description as they would normally, not to keyword stuff, because it's not like the search terms and the algorithm will pick up on it if you keyword stuff, but just write it like you would normally. That then helps you to, if you are going to use that text image, it then helps you to rank for the keywords on the back end.
Yes. Okay, cool. Right. Let's get into the funny ones that you've selected. Let's start with Bic, the pen they thought was a good idea to design for women.
Yeah, it was obviously a man that designed that one, but I don't think any woman would have thought of that. But so apparently there's these Bic pens for her. Actually, that's the search term, Bic pens for her. And some of the reviews they're really, really funny.
Go on, give me some examples. Pull out some examples for me.
It says, "These pens make me feel so feminine and desirable. I can barely keep the men away when I'm holding one of these in my dainty hand. My husband has started to take fencing lessons just to keep the men away."
Jesus Christ. Right.
Where's this one? Since discovering these pens, my urges for radical feminism have ceased. Now that I and my fellow sisters have our very own pens, who needs equal pay, bodily autonomy, or to be treated like I'm more than a baby factory with fabulous legs? There's a pen just for us. We've made it.
Right, let's move on to the Swiss Army knife one now. Now, this is incredible. This is, I mean, when people see the picture of this, it's beautiful. I mean, Steve Jobs would be really proud of this. So what we've got here is 141 functions, and it looks like a bag of spanners have been dropped onto the floor, doesn't it?
It's a very under-optimized listing. It's only got one image. I mean, the image is enough to traumatize people for life, but it's probably one of the most under-optimized listings. But what's really funny is you go down to the product description.
Yeah.
It actually lists all of the elements, and you're scrolling to
I've just read the first review. I tried to file my nails, but in the process, I accidentally fixed a small engine that was nearby, which was nice. How did I get to this? I didn't even order this now. Somehow it ordered itself. So I'm so confused right now.
Here's one. It says, flew it to Vegas. When I
Yeah.
forgot to take it out of my backpack before trying to board my flight, the helpful TSA agent at the security area pointed out that by deploying the two larger blades and the jet engine on the backside, I really didn't need a commercial flight, just a runway and some goggles. Boy, did I feel dumb. But I saved $605 on the airfare. Oh, brilliant.
So any more listings? Let's have a look, see if that's that one.
One more. They've got the
Final one.
Auto Exec's attachable steering wheel work surface.
But what is it though?
So it's basically a tray that you attach to the steering wheel of your car.
Right.
For when you get stuck in traffic, I'm assuming.
Oh, because that's compliant with the law, yeah?
Yeah, that's very safe.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is they've got semi-okay EBC. I mean, it's not, nothing to write home about, but
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the pictures now. You literally sit there and pull your laptop out and start working in the car in the traffic jam.
I don't know about, maybe you do that in the US, but I think in the UK, isn't that an automatic ban?
Yeah, you're not even meant to handle your phone, are you? Right, so they've got the iPad. Yeah, this is nuts. You can actually get away with this.
I'm just reading the reviews here.
Surely, is this still selling? Is this actually legal?
I don't know, but the reviews were published a month ago. I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Not legal, I don't know, but it's still it's crazy, isn't it? You wouldn't think that you'd be able to get away with it.
Yeah, look at the question section. Does blood wipe off of it easily? The Auto Exec will make tables designed to clean easy, and in most situations, blood wipes off easy. So people seriously answer these questions because they're obviously putting this down to it that, you're going to have a crash while you're driving. You're going to crash into someone, hit your head on the windscreen, and then you're going to get blood everywhere. So now they're asking the question, would you clean it off? And the answer is come back from them. All serious. Blood wipes off easily.
It's as if it's someone else's blood. If it's your own, well, it depends entirely on what you have cut off. Then wiping may become a problem. Wow. So just to actually mention about questions. So question and answers are really an important part of the listing.
Yeah.
It helps inform customers' purchasing decisions. And what I've noticed is that if you have an under-optimized listing, you tend to find typically that the Q&As become quite extensive because they're forced to ask questions in order to, get the answer. So another really good little tip is go and have a look at your competitors' Q&As and see what questions are being asked over and over again, and make sure that you weave that in above the fold being the bullets. So it's sort of a very cool tip. And also take the time to comment as the seller, because what happens is obviously those questions get polled, they get sent out to people, and what you don't want is somebody to write something sarcastic like that. Would have been better if the seller themselves would have been able to answer, because obviously that first reply sits then just below the question. So just always to try to be on top of your Q&As.
Some of these questions, though, I can't drive with this thing on. It just keeps turning me in circles. What am I doing wrong? Is this product appropriate for blind braille readers? Is it sturdy enough to lay my head down on when I get tired of driving? This is nuts.
There's one. It says, I'm so glad this product has come along. Finally, I have a flat surface to use my Hutzler banana slicer while on the go.
Jesus. All right. Well, look, let's wrap that there. What's the best way people can reach you?
So people can reach me via my website, which is optimisemylistings.com.
Excellent. And if they want to get in contact via email, ask you some questions, etc.
Sure. It's Arabella at Optimise My Listing, but it's Optimise with an S and listing with no S at the end.
Cool. No worries. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. Again, if this is your first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, we'll see you again soon. Take care.